apologies for the quality of the video and the fact that I'm wearing no makeup. I am an old crone. I make no apologies for that. Something I would like to discuss that has been on my mind for a while and it's really irritating me is there's this toxic mentality, even within the tarot community, and you hear this mantra over and over again that tarot reading is not a substitute for therapy. And let me tell you why I have a problem with that. It's a straw man, it's imaginary concept that I don't believe actually exists. I don't believe that there's anyone out there with no prior experience with therapy who are going, oh, you know what, I don't believe in therapy. I think I'm going to go to a psychic. Nobody's actually doing that. And one could argue that if this imaginary conceptual person does exist, maybe they were never going to go to therapy anyway. And I am an advocate for voluntary therapy. And if someone's not going to go, well, it's best that they find another way to solve their problems. So let's address that point first of all. Second, I would point out that my experience, my personal anecdotal experience, and feel free to disagree, is that the people who are interested in the esoteric, who explore spirituality, those people went the official route first, and that system failed them. So it's not that they're choosing to opt out of science or the scientific or rational method of exploring their psychological issues. It's the fact that that system has let them down and, in rare circumstances, even rejected them, refused to help them with their problems. So I totally disagree that tarot reading cannot be a form of therapy. Would I say that every tarot reader is qualified to act as a therapist? Of course not. It's an unregulated area. It's not something that could, I believe, be regulated properly. A lot of people get around this by saying it's for entertainment purposes only. It's something that is, by its very nature, difficult to prove. It's scientifically unprovable, but does that mean it can't be helpful? Um, it's a form of coaching, if anything. That's how I think of tarot readers. They allow people to explore those problems that they have at a psychological level, and they allow them to privately explore their problems without assigning any blame to themselves or others, or allowing them to assign blame where they wish, as long as it helps them get to the bottom of the problem. So I totally disagree with the fact that tarot is no substitute for therapy, because in most cases it has to be, and it absolutely is, and not by choice, but usually because therapy didn't work. Maybe the person went to therapy for years and it didn't help them with their problems. But also, tarot doesn't really focus on the inner world. Anyway, it doesn't really focus on those kinds of things. It focuses on how to solve an issue that the, the querent cares about. So, whereas psychology can focus on fixing the person in order to make the individual fit with society or mesh better, as has been the case historically, where they've made things that are natural behaviors pathologies, tarot doesn't wish to look to blame anybody from an external perspective, because it always aims to address things from a cosmic perspective or a greater picture perspective. So there doesn't need to be this competition or even this toxicity within the tarot community that degrades the value of their own work. Tarot reading can be valuable to people. It can, I don't want to be um, melodramatic and say that tarot reading can save lives in the same way that a person who may be suicidal goes to a psychiatrist and gets a rescue remedy, as I would call it, antidepressants, in order to prevent them from taking steps too far. That's not the role of tarot reading. But tarot reading is to address those everyday issues that psychology, you can't really go to a psychologist as a normal, healthy individual and expect them to help you. They basically, their role is when things have gone far too far and it's too late to fix the problem themselves. So in reality, they're completely different areas of therapy, different expertise. And one could argue that psychoanalysis and tarot reading have a lot more in common than people would like to believe. And in fact, Jungian psychoanalysis explored symbolism and imagery to tap into those subconscious processes, and tarot, with thousands of years of um, cultural imagery embedded into it, not just the hundreds of years of occult imagery, but like thousands of years of human experience um, embedded in those cards. It's an invaluable tool. And as I've always said, tarot is either the best game ever played or it is a very good tool for self development. And also, I also believe that you can tap into those energies. You can tap into the energies of the universe, and they do have predictive value. But that's not all they can be used for. And I would argue that for most people, even people with no sense of spirituality, tarot cards can be helpful. They can explore perspectives that you haven't considered. They can reveal unconscious biases that you may not have even realized that you had. They're an invaluable tool, and I am really tired of people bagging them.